People decide how confident you are within the first few seconds of meeting you, not after hearing your ideas, not after seeing your resume, within seconds. So the question is, what are those first few seconds saying about you? We have come a long way together. In this series, we have talked about why confidence fades in midlife, how our thoughts quietly eroded, the practical steps to rebuild it, why aging is actually your greatest confidence builder, and in video 5, how the healthy habits that you practice every day are feeding or starving the confidence that you are trying to grow. I will link every video below for you. If you are just discovering this series today, welcome. I'm Ileana, your midlife mindset and wellness coach. I am here to help you reset, reclaim, and step into your second half of your life with real confidence. Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge that you've done that inner work, examined your thoughts, challenge your beliefs, build new habits that matters. That matters deeply. But today, I want to talk about something that doesn't get said enough. Confidence isn't just something that you feel on the inside. It's something that you communicate on the outside. Your posture, your voice, your eye contact, the way that you walk into a room, that tells people how to see you before you even say a word. And here's what makes this especially important for women in midlife. We've spent years making ourselves smaller, apologizing before we speak, shrinking in rooms, deferring when we should be leading. Those habits are deeply ingrained. So even when your inner confidence is growing, if your outer presence hasn't caught up, there is a gap between who you are and how you are perceived. Today, we are closing that gap with 6 shifts that will change how you show up starting this week. But first, let me share something that surprised me when I learned it, and I think it'll surprise you too. Most of us are taught confidence works one way. You feel confident and then it shows. But the research tells a fuller story. Confidence works in both directions. How you carry your body doesn't just reflect how you feel, it directly influences it. Researchers have found that sitting upright amplifies your internal dialogue. And here's the other piece. Research consistently shows that people who come across as more confident are also perceived as more competent, regardless of whether their actual skills have changed. The exact same idea, delivered with certainty and open body language, lands completely differently than delivered with hesitation. This isn't about performing or being fake. It's about aligning your outer presence with the inner work that you've already done. You've earned this confidence. Now it's time to let it show. Here are the 6 shifts that will help you do exactly that. A quick note before we dive in. If this kind of content is helping you, hit subscribe. This is the last video in the confidence series. But up next, we're starting a new series, the reinvention era. I don't want you to miss it. Shift 1. Stand tall and take up the space that you deserve. Let's start with posture, because this is the foundation everything else builds on. Many of us have spent decades making ourselves physically smaller, shoulders rounded forward, arms crossed, taking up as little space as possible in rooms where we felt we didn't have much to contribute. Those habits didn't develop because of poor ergonomics. They develop because we were conditioned, often since childhood, to be small, quiet, and non-threatening. But here's the truth. When you walk into a room with rounded shoulders and a downward gaze, that's not humility. That's communicating before you say a single word that you are not sure that you belong there. Research from Ohio State University found that posture directly shapes self-perception. Sitting or standing upright doesn't just signal confidence to others. It actually makes you feel more competent and capable of yourself. Your posture is a two-way communication system, outward to the room and inward to your own brain. And there's a version of this that you may have heard of, the Superman pose. Researchers found that standing in an expansive, open stance for just 2 minutes, feet apart, hands on your hips, chest open, measurably increased feelings of power and confidence, and even shifted hormone levels associated with confidence and stress. 2 minutes. That's all it takes to change how you feel before you walk into a room. And here's what I want you to practice. Practice the Superman pose. Lift your chin so your gaze is forward, not at the floor. Take a slow, full breath. This isn't about acting confident. It's about letting your body finally match how strong you actually are. Do this every morning before you walk out the door. Do it before every important conversation. Do it right now if you want. Because the moment that you stop shrinking, people stop expecting you to. Shift number 2, make eye contact like you mean it. This one is simple, and it is one of the most powerful things that you can do to instantly communicate confidence. Think about the last time someone looked at you directly in the eye when they spoke to you. Not a stare, but a steady, warm, present gaze. How did it feel? Like they were actually there, like what they were saying mattered, like you could trust them. That is the power of eye contact. And most of us underestimate it or avoid it because we were taught that making direct eye contact was somehow aggressive or too much. Body language expert Lillian Glass identifies strong eye contact as the single greatest indicator of confidence. Research confirms that eye contact establishes connections, projects self-assurance, and makes you appear more trustworthy, more reliable, and more memorable. Studies recommend holding eye contact for roughly 60% of a conversation. That's enough to signal presence and interest without feeling like a stare. Practice holding eye contact a little longer than feels comfortable at first. In a conversation, look at the person speaking. When you are speaking, hold their gaze as you make your point. On video calls, look directly into the camera, not at your own image on the screen. And here's something I want you to notice this week. How often do you look away, look down, or break eye contact right at the moment that you are saying something important? That is the moment your words need your eyes behind them. Do not take them away. Shift number 3. Choose your words like they matter, because they do. This one changed everything for me, and I think that it will for you too. I want you to pay attention this week to how you open your sentences. Do you say things like, I'm not sure if this is right, or this might be a silly question, or I don't know, maybe, before you share an idea or make a point? We call this hedging language. And most of us do it so automatically, we do not even realize it. We think we are being humble. We think we are being relatable. But what we are actually doing is telling the people around us before we had even made our point, do not take me seriously. Research confirms that people who use hedging language, phrases like I think, maybe, sort of, I could be wrong, are consistently rated as significantly less competent and less credible than people who say the exact same thing without hedging. Nothing about the quality of their ideas changed, only the framing. And yet, the entire perception of their confidence and capabilities shifted. Here's the shift. You are not obligated to narrate your uncertainty before you speak. You can feel unsure and still speak with clarity. You can have a question and ask it directly without apologizing first. You can share an idea without prefacing it with every doubt that you have about it. This week, notice your hedges, catch them, and then simply say what you were going to say without the apology. Because the woman that you are becoming does not need to ask permission to be heard. I put together a free guide with 25 of these hedge phrases and exactly what to say instead. Grab it in the description below. Shift number 4. Let silence be your strength. This one surprised me the most, and I think it might surprise you too. Think about the most powerful, grounded person that you have ever been in a room with. chances are they are not the loudest. They were not the ones feeling every pause. They were the ones who spoke deliberately, who let their words land before adding more, who were completely comfortable with silence. Most of us, especially women, have been conditioned to fill every silence. We speed up when we are nervous. We over explain. We add qualifiers after a point because we're not sure it landed. And in doing all of that, we dilute the very thing we were trying to say. Research on speech patterns and perceived confidence shows that speaking in a controlled, unhurried way and using strategic pauses makes people perceive you as more confident, more composed, and more in control. When you rush, it signals nerves. When you pause, it signals certainty. Here's the practice for you. After you make a point, stop. Let it land. Resist the urge to immediately keep talking or adding a softening phrase. If there is a silence, allow it. Silence is not awkward. Silence is powerful. Practice this in casual moments at first. A conversation with a friend, a family dinner, a casual work exchange. Build a habit there so that when the stakes are higher, your body already knows how to be still. Shift number 5, stop retreating under pressure. Stand behind your words. This one connects to everything that we've covered in this series. You can have all the confidence in the world, but if you back down the moment that someone pushes you back, you're communicating something very differently. Here's what I've seen and lived myself. You can share an idea, someone challenges it, and almost immediately you start backpedaling. Or you might be right. I could be wrong. I was just thinking out loud. You retreat, not because they made a good point, but because the discomfort of being challenged felt like proof that you were wrong. It wasn't. It was just discomfort. Confident women learn to sit in discomfort without treating it as a verdict. Research consistently shows that people who clearly hold their position while staying open to real dialogue are seen as significantly more competent, trustworthy, and leader-like than those who cave the moment that they're challenged. Here's the distinction. Being open-minded is a strength, but retreating every time someone disagrees isn't humility. It's telling everyone that you don't trust your own perspective. And if you don't trust it, why would anyone else? This doesn't mean being rigid or defensive. It means that when you genuinely thought something through, you stand behind it. Say, I hear you. I've thought about this, and I still believe it. That's not arrogance. That's the grounded certainty that makes people lean in and listen. You have decades of experience, wisdom, and hard won perspective. Stop giving it away the moment that someone raises an eyebrow. Stand behind your words because if you won't advocate for your own ideas, no one else will either. Shift number 6, own your opening every single time. And finally, the one that ties everything together. Here's what the research tells us and what I have learned from experience. People decide how they're going to see you within the first few seconds of an interaction. Before you've made a point, before you've shown what you know, before you've done anything at all. Psychologists call this the primacy effect. First impressions form almost instantly, and they're incredibly hard to undo. How you open a conversation, walk into a room, or begin speaking sets the entire frame for everything that follows. So, how do you open? Do you walk in already apologizing with your body, head down, shoulders forward, voice trailing off? Do you start with, I hope this is okay, or sorry to bother you, or I'll try to explain? Or do you walk in with your shoulders back, make eye contact, and speak your first words with clarity? This is one of the most well documented findings in social psychology. First impressions are disproportionately influential and remarkably resistant to change. Your opening carries more weight than anything that comes after it. So here's the practice. Before any important interaction, a meeting, a conversation, a video call, even walking into a room, take one moment to ask yourself, how do I want to show up? How do I want people to feel about me when this is over? Then put your body there first. Shoulders back, chin up, breath full, eyes forward. You don't have to feel it completely yet. You just have to choose it. And choosing it over and over in small moments and big ones is how it becomes real. Friend, we've covered a lot in this series. I want to take a moment to acknowledge what we built together. We started by naming what confidence fades, the body changes, the hormonal shifts, the cultural messages that told us that we were becoming less. We went deeper into the thought, quietly eroding our sense of self. We built practical tools to rebuild from the inside out. We discovered that aging itself is one of the most powerful confidence builders we have. We talked about how caring for our bodies is an act of self respect that feeds everything else. And today, we talked about how to let it all of that show, how to bring it into every room, every conversation, every moment you have the chance to show up as the woman you're becoming. This is what complete confidence looks like. What you embody, what you believe about yourself, what you communicate quietly and powerfully before you ever say a word. Here is your action step to close out this series. This week, choose one shift from today's video and practice it every single day. Just one, in small moments and big ones. And at the end of the week, notice what changed. Notice how people respond differently. Notice how you feel differently because you will. And I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what shift are you starting with? And which video in this series impacted you the most? If this series has meant something to you, please share it with a daughter, a sister, a friend, a colleague, a woman who is quietly struggling and does not know where to start. Because the most powerful thing confident women do is bring other women with them. And don't forget to grab the free hedge phrase guide linked below. Make sure that you are subscribed because there's so much more ahead as we continue this journey together. And remember, friend, you are not too old, it is not too late, and you are not behind. You are right on time for the amazing life that you are creating. I'll see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself and go be unstoppable. Bye, friend.